What is a reconsideration? You have the right to appeal a decision made by Social Security. A reconsideration is the first level of appeal if your application for Social Security disability or supplemental security income is denied. In other words, it's a request you make for the office to reconsider your application, plus any additional evidence that might have been missing when you first submitted it. When you submit a request for reconsideration, your application will be reviewed again, this time by a different analyst than the one who reviewed your application initially. Remember that the same disability, financial, and immigration requirements apply in your request for reconsideration as in your initial application. See the previous video in this series, Applying for SSI and/or SSD, for more information. How do I file for reconsideration? If you receive a notice denying your application for disability benefits, you have 65 days after that decision to file a request for reconsideration. You should file this as soon as possible to make sure that you meet the deadline. If the 65-day deadline has passed, you may still submit your request for reconsideration, but you should include a statement of good cause for why your reconsideration request was late. Some examples of good cause are if you were in the hospital and were too sick to appeal, or if you did not receive the denial notice in the mail. Social Security may decide to process the reconsideration if they find a good cause, but it is best to submit your request on time so you don't risk losing your chance to appeal. You can apply for a reconsideration online at ssa.gov or search for Form SSA-561, Request for Reconsideration, which you can fill out and fax or mail to your local Social Security office. See ssa.gov for contact information. Make sure you keep a copy of these forms or a receipt of your online submission for your records. What do I need to provide to Social Security for reconsideration? If the Social Security Administration denies your application for benefits, they will send you a letter explaining their decision. They might have denied your application for a medical reason, like they found that you do not have a medical condition that makes you unable to work, or for a non-medical reason. For example, if they believe your income or resources are too high for you to qualify for the benefit. What should I include in my reconsideration if I was denied for a medical reason? If you received a denial for a medical reason, you will need to provide updated medical information for your disability. Submit it in the online reconsideration request or in Form SSA-3441-BK. You must also complete Form SSA-827, Authorization to Disclose Information. If there was any relevant information about your medical condition which you did not include in your initial application, or if you have any new medical providers, you should give that information to Social Security now. For example, you should include medical records, psychiatric records, and physical therapy records that help prove that you have a medical condition that keeps you from being able to work. Remember that in New York, medical providers cannot charge you for copies of records you request to support a disability application or appeal. You can also update information and references of healthcare providers and include letters from other people that know about symptoms of your conditions, work accommodations you've gotten, and assistance you've been provided with, if you didn't include those in your original application. What should I include in my reconsideration if I was denied for any other reason? If Social Security provided a denial because of a lack of evidence, for example, lack of evidence of income and resources, gather the appropriate evidence and submit it. Consider the reason that Social Security provided in their denial. If you do not understand the reason provided, consider calling an advocate. You can submit the request for reconsideration plus any new supporting documentation that you are providing online at ssa.gov or by fax or mail to your local Social Security office. My request for reconsideration was denied. What do I do now? If your reconsideration is denied, you can appeal further. You can request a hearing with an administrative law judge by completing Form HA 501 or going to ssa.gov to complete an online request for a hearing. You or a representative must request a hearing within 65 days after you get the notice of the reconsideration determination. If you need any assistance along the way, or your reconsideration for disability benefits is denied, do not hesitate to reach out for help. If you live in New York City, call Legal Services of NYC at 917-661-4500 or the New York Legal Assistance Group at 212-613-5000. If you live outside of New York City, contact your nearest Legal Services Corporation provider. Visit lsc.gov or lawhelp.org to find a provider near you.